So I want you guys to check out this news clip from CBS News. Um, I just want you to check it out and tell me what you think. This is how I know that leftists, black people, leftists, whatever, don't care about the criminal justice system. And they don't care about wrongdoing in the criminal justice system. Here we go. Let's check it out.
Former President Trump's attorney, Michael Van Der Veen. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Let's get right into those words that we heard from Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. He ended the trial with this passionate speech about President Trump's involvement in the insurrection. During it, he said that the former president is...
Right off the bat, notice how she says insurrection. And anybody that uses that term for that idiocy that happened on January 6th, if anyone else uses that term, I put them in the same boxes as Donald Trump's a dictator that left office when it was time for him to leave office. Anyway, let's do it.
Still liable for everything he did during his period in office. Are you expecting to face more charges against Mr. Trump in the near future? And do you anticipate being part of that defense?
No, that's just political rhetoric, and I was hopeful that something would come out of this, that the political rhetoric would stop out of Washington, D.C., but I guess apparently it hasn't.
Were you, though, surprised to hear...
Mitch McConnell definitely showed himself, and I think anyway, a lot of people obviously thought that he was just that he was a partisan hack or establishment Republican and didn't like that wasn't going to put America first, and he's just an establishment deep state Republican, and he showed himself to be that, and it took time, but here we go. That was Mitch McConnell, but let's keep going.
Those words coming from the leader of the Republican Party in the Senate.
I'm not surprised to hear a politician say anything at all. No.
Well, throughout the trial, you denied that Mr. Trump had a role in inciting the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol. You argued, first of all, that there was no insurrection, but during your closing arguments, you seemingly admitted that there was, in fact, an insurrection.
There it goes. She's trying to, that was kind of a gotcha. She tried to do a gotcha right there. That's exactly what that was. And that really, and he's gonna expose that here real quickly. Here we go.
That word, saying that was not up for debate. What role did the former president play?
You didn't understand the case. I used the word
I'll give you the opportunity to clarify, sir.
Sure. I used the word insurrection in my closing argument when quoting the charging documents. What happened at the Capitol on January 6th is absolutely horrific. But what happened at the Capitol during this trial was not too far away from that. The prosecutors in this case doctored evidence. They did not investigate this case, and when they had to come to the court of the Senate,
they doctored evidence. This is part of, I'm just gonna, here we go. We're just gonna set this up. Part of a lot of people's problem with the criminal justice system, they talk about how that people are that prosecutors are doctoring evidence and things like that. This is what we're told, right? Now, and I'm not trying to say that doesn't happen, but let's go a little further. Let's go a little further before I just start dropping it here. Here we go.
To put their case on, because they hadn't done any investigation, they doctored evidence. It was absolutely shocking. I think when we discovered it and we were able to expose it and put it out, I think it turned a lot of senators. The American people should not be putting up with this. They need to look at who these House managers were and look to see whether these are the folks they want representing them. It was shocking to me. Wouldn't have believed it.
Let's follow up with a point that you're making right now about the House managers, as you say, doctoring evidence, and the argument.
They didn't deny it.
Viewers.
Notice how she says, "As you say," like they didn't do it. Well, as you say, they doctored evidence. It's almost as if it's not even a fact that they did it to these people. As you say, well, they planted those drugs on me. Well, as you say, they planted those drugs on you. Even though in a situation like this, there's actually video of them doing it. Well, as you say, they planted drugs on you.
They didn't deny it. I put it in front of them 3 times.
To be clear for our viewers, what you're talking about now is a check mark. That's a verification on Twitter that did not exist on that particular tweet. A 2020 that should have actually read 2021, and the selective editing, you say, of the tapes. Is that how?
And see, that's what actually, this is a quick lawyer right here. A lot of people wouldn't pick that up, or they're not quick enough to pick that up. There's on the tweet that they brought that they showed as evidence, there was supposed to be a blue check mark. There wasn't. It was supposed to have a certain date. They changed the date and the check mark. And she says, well, as you say, and she's trying to hurry up and swoop on past that. I'm sorry. The thing is that if you're okay with this, then you're a effing partisan freaking hack, and you ought to be ashamed of yourself. There's no way. This should be something right here where you can say to yourself, the criminal justice system, for these people, the criminal justice system is so corrupt that they tried to doctor evidence against a white nationalist. I mean, apparently, that's how corrupt this system is. It's on display of this. This should be something where if a person claimed that the cops planted or there was evidence that was doctored against them, you can look at stuff like this and say, look, they did it there. We can't trust it. So it's not so far-fetched. If people really cared and thought that the cops were truly terrible and out to get them, you have an opportunity right here, right? Let's keep going.
Wait. That's not enough for you? That's not enough for you?
It should be enough.
Wait. No.
I'm not a juror in this trial. What I'm trying to be clear for our viewers is what you're referring to, because not everybody has been following.
It's not okay.
Not everybody,
to doctor
sir,
a little bit of evidence. Respectfully.
I have not said it is okay.
Ma'am, your question is
I want to be clear for our.
Isn't that a shame? Isn't that a shame?
Clear for our viewers is what you're referring to, because not everybody has been following.
It's not okay.
Not everybody,
to doctor
sir,
a little bit of evidence. Respectfully.
I have not said it is okay.
Ma'am, your question is
I want to be clear for our viewers.
Listen, what has to happen is
I want to be clear for our viewers about what exactly you're saying when you say doctored evidence.
The media has to start telling the right story in this country. The media is trying to divide this country. You are bloodthirsty for ratings.
Notice she's starting to breathe heavier, and you can see it. And what he's saying is right, is the media has to start being responsible for what they're doing in this country. It's not right what they're doing. At all. Just for ratings, they're willing to be okay with people doctoring evidence. Be okay with the Fine People hoax. That was completely blown out of the water in this. And everyone is just like, that's okay. I know they doctored the videos. Honestly, Joe Biden, they need to start talking about that. Joe Biden needs to be freaking impeached for that. There needs to be some impeachment talk right there, because the Fine People hoax is terrible. And it turned a lot of people against Trump, where that was something he didn't even say. And they doctored the video, and everyone says, yep, he said that there was very fine people that Nazis are very fine people.
And as such, you're asking questions now that are already set up
Loaded
with a
questions.
fact pattern. I can't believe you would ask me a question indicating that it's all right just to doctor a little bit of evidence. There's more stuff that we uncovered that they doctored, to be frank with you. And perhaps that will come out one day. But we won this case. And I'm not a sore loser, but what happened, or a sore winner, I should say, but what should happen is somebody should look at the conduct of these house managers. It's unconscionable, aside from all of the due process violations that my client had. And the media should be looking at a square, straight way. A straight way. When I watch the news, I watch one station and it's raining. I watch another station at the same time and it's sunny. Your coverage is so slanted, it's got to stop. You guys have to stop.
He's talking about both sides here.
Reporting more like PBS does rather than a TV news show that doesn't have any journalistic integrity at all. What I'm telling you is that they doctored evidence. And I believe your question says, well, it's only a Twitter check and changing a year of a date here. They switched the date of a Twitter a year to try to connect it to this case. That's not a small thing, ma'am. The other thing they did is they put a check mark on something to make it look like it was a validated account when it wasn't. And when they were caught, they didn't say anything about it. They didn't even try to come up with an excuse about it. And
that right there should have been the end of their case. That should have been it. When it was found out that they freaking lied about it, that shows you right there. Anyone that voted to convict has no integrity whatsoever. Anyone that chose to convict after the person that was making the case against someone was shown to be doctoring the reason that this person should be convicted should right there have been, that should have been the end of it. And if you still voted for it, something is wrong here. Something is fundamentally wrong.
not the way our prosecutors or our government officials should be conducting themselves. And the media shouldn't be letting them get away with it either. I'm tired of the biased media on both sides, left and right.
Yep.
What this country wants, what this country needs, is this country to come together, to take the left and the right and find a middle ground and start responsibly being our public officials, our elected officials. And one of the reasons why they do it is because of the media, because the media wants to tell their narrative rather than just telling it like it is. And frankly, I'm tired of it. I'm not a media. I'm not in front of your cameras all the time. But what I've been subjected to this last week.
I understand, and I've given you the opportunity.
You don't want to hear the truth. Yeah. Okay.
I've given you the opportunity. I will remind you that what I...
At that point, he's done. He's checking out at this point. Because he knows that at this point, there's no reason going back and forth with this person. That's why he's got the orange cross. That's the well, okay. That's whatever. At this point, it's over, right? Here we go. Let's go a little bit more.
Said was that for our viewers who have not been following all of the hours of this trial, to be clear about what you are speaking about. And I understand
I'm speaking
that you
about
seem
the House
very
manager's
upset.
failure to prove their case. That's what I'm telling
And
you. They weren't able to prove their case.
Acquittal. You have won the acquittal of your client.
Yes,
and if you'd
I
like to
did.
continue to talk about this conversation, we can have that discussion.
I don't need to.
But for me to ask a question.
A slanted question that was set up to say it's okay for them to cheat. That was your question, isn't it?
Yes, she did. And anyone trying to say that that's not what that's not what she did is absolutely insane. And if you look at the responses to this in the Twitter on Twitter, on the actual CBS video, that people, I'm sorry that you had to put up with him. It was misogyny. This whole intersectionality crap and stuff like that, where it comes to race, when it comes to sex and all that, it's a goddamn permanent shield for these people. That they are not held to account for anything that they do. You totally disregard that this man has a freaking point, and he's calling out both sides.
Say
For
that.
them to cheat.
I didn't
it's
say
just
that.
a little bit.
Just a little bit.
You said,
Okay.
to be fair, it was
It's
only
fine.
a check
I
on the
understand. You're
Twitter.
not-
That's what you said.
What is
You
she
gotta live
reading?
by your word.
What is she reading?
That's the problem. The media.
That's what I
has to
would
start
love to know.
living-
What is she freaking reading right there? I guarantee you, she's reading something from someone that's actually really in control of this conversation.
By the truth, and not try
All
to
right.
create a narrative.
Michael Vanderveen,
Yeah.
thank you for
Citizen.
joining us. I do appreciate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see you taking off your microphone now.
She's like I'll just leave it there. Comment, like, share, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. All right.